Senate Majority Leader John Thune's time is up. The most significant election integrity bill in years, the Save America Act, already passed the House twice. That was 2 weeks ago. And since then, nothing. No vote, no debate, just more delay. So what's the holdup? Well, the zombie filibuster is largely to blame. By refusing to force a real talking filibuster, much like the film Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Thune is allowing a minority to block the bill indefinitely, instead of letting it pass with a simple constitutional majority of 51 votes, which raises the obvious question. If passing voter ID law is so important and supported by 84% of Americans, why won't he bring it to the floor for a vote?
As I said, we will vote on the SAVE Act, but exercising or triggering a talking filibuster has ramifications, implications that I think everybody needs to be aware of. So we will have those discussions, but that's obviously ties the floor up for an indefinite amount of time with not only unlimited debate, but also unlimited amendments.
Well, in reality, what good is having the GOP majority if our leaders squander their opportunity? Is Leader Thune blocking the Save America Act on purpose? Why is he taking such little action to keep our elections secure? And the bigger question, are there sinister forces in the Uniparty that he remains indebted to? Well, since entering the Senate in 2005, John Thune has operated as one of Mitch McConnell's closest allies. For years, Thune was groomed to be the deep state rhino's hand-picked successor, quietly rising through the ranks as McConnell's tenure stretched into its later years.
I rise today to pay tribute to the longest-serving party leader in Senate history, Republican leader Mitch McConnell.
And now, old Mitch's physical and mental health is sharply declining.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator Penny.
This is sad and painful to watch, while also highly dangerous for the American people that he's still allowed to work in Congress. McConnell is, of course, a no vote on the Save America Act, and even worse, he remains chairman of the Senate Rules Committee, which allows him to block the Save America Act from going to the floor. There's no question he needs to be removed, and in fact, should have retired years ago. I don't think anything screams term limits much more than this picture. But something just isn't right here. Why isn't Thune pushing back? As majority leader, he has control of the Senate agenda and can arrange to remove McConnell from his chairman position. And since McConnell is unable to perform his duties, is it possible that his staffers are controlling Thune as their puppet? Well, one thing they certainly have in common is their opposition to President Trump. Back in 2018, it turns out that Thune was against Trump declaring a national emergency to build a border wall.
The emergency declaration is something obviously that's been kicked around and contemplated, but I think frankly, I'm not crazy about going down that path.
And before that, Thune was one of the first senators to call for Trump's withdrawal from the 2016 race following the release of the Access Hollywood tapes, stating, quote, "Donald Trump should withdraw and Mike Pence should be our nominee effective immediately," end quote. On January 6th, Thune called the actions of rioters who stormed the Capitol, quote-unquote, thuggery. I hope that the types of people who stormed the Capitol get a clear message that they will not stop our democracy from moving forward. Then following Trump's impeachment trial, he stated, quote, "What former President Trump did to undermine faith in our election system and disrupt the peaceful transfer of power is inexcusable." This is very much in line with what other rhinos like Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Liz Cheney said about January 6th. And no surprise here, Thune is old friends with Liz Cheney and her family because they both embrace the same policies. Thune didn't just go along with Washington's forever wars. He helped drive them. He stood shoulder to shoulder with Mitch McConnell, voting for every bloated spending package that shipped billions of American taxpayer dollars straight to Ukraine. And when Republican senators dared to resist, Liz Cheney went on the offense, targeting members of her own party, smearing and pressuring anyone who refused to rubber stamp Thune and McConnell's Ukraine funding machine. Together, they enforced total loyalty to the forever war agenda and punished anyone who stood in their way. But the Cheney machine isn't the only Neocon money behind John Thune. FEC records reveal that mega donor Shirley Ryan, who bankrolled warmonger Nikki Haley with $2.5 million, also sent nearly $60,000 to Thune's Senate Victory PAC. The same donor class funding the same globalist candidates and pushing the same globalist agenda. Let's face it, Senator Thune has proven to be untrustworthy. He may say he's willing to support the Save America Act, but his actions say otherwise.
That is, should non-citizens be voting in American elections? The answer is no. And the Democrats have taken a hard position that it's okay. Now, the law already prevents that, but if that's true, then why wouldn't we want to put into law something that would require when you go to vote that you prove you're a United States citizen? And that's all the SAVE Act does. And so, you know, they can cry and lament this actually being voted on, but I'd be hard-pressed to have to defend a position that doesn't believe that you have to be an American citizen to vote in an American election.
So what are you waiting for? Do you really care about stopping voter fraud? Or are you just lying to our faces? I mean, at a certain point, voters have to ask themselves a simple question. Why do those who talk a good game seem the least willing to take action when it actually matters? Well, the answer is obvious. The system benefits them. It keeps the same insiders in charge, the same deep state power structure intact, and the same voters ignored. And that's exactly why the MAGA base is not buying it. On behalf of the American people, we call on you, Senator Thune, to put an end to the charade and honor the will of your constituents. End the zombie filibuster, bring the Save America Act to the floor for debate, and secure our elections once and for all. Reporting for Lindell TV, I'm Allison Steinberg.